Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So we just got back from a nice little visit to San Luis Obispo,
We did.
where our eldest daughter went to a college orientation a couple of days.
Exactly. It gave us the opportunity for some relaxation and some fine dining.
Not always fine dining for you.
Oh yeah, no, the dining situation. Well, there was that one time. I think it was the first night where I made a bad menu choice, which is something that is starting to feel like it's becoming pretty habitual at the moment.
Maybe you have a lot of stirred up thinking when you're at the restaurants these days.
Well, I did on that particular occasion, and I found myself being in a particularly low mood. And I think that was as a result of me taking my thinking very personally around the subject of being around women that couldn't make their mind up.
Three hungry women that couldn't make their mind up.
Three hungry women and one man.
Well, we did make our mind up, but the trouble is that when we got to the restaurant, they didn't take reservations, and we had a 45-minute wait.
Yes.
So that threw our whole plan up in the air.
It went up in smoke. And I had said that having driven for 3.5 hours, that I didn't want to be a part of the decision-making process. But then I did kind of renege on that deal when we were confronted with the situation of this restaurant being fully booked or telling us there was going to be a 45-minute wait. And then I suggested that we then go just throw caution to the wind and just go and try and find somewhere on the street. And so in the end, it became a toss-up between a Japanese restaurant and like a burger joint. And in my mind, all I wanted to do all along, and I should have said this right from the get-go, was I wanted Mexican food. And I only really wanted Mexican food because I wanted the biggest and largest margarita that I could get my lips on. And none of that had no appeal to anybody other than me. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to do the Japanese thing, but I could kind of get my head around doing a burger joint. But you had no interest in doing a burger joint at all. And I think by that time you were getting a little bit on the huffy side. So I said, well, okay, let's just go and have sushi. And I didn't really want to have sushi. It was probably the last thing that I wanted, because I think I'd only just had sushi a couple of days before. So anyway, we ended up at this sushi restaurant, and I was in a low mood. And I think that you didn't want to have sake, or we didn't have the right kind of sake. Sake was being dispensed in some very peculiar way, which seemed strange to you, and you were not wanting to be a party to that idea. So I thought, well, I don't want to have a drink on my own, and I got a bit huffy about that. And this is all going on in my head. I don't think you were even aware of it at this point. And so the menus came, and I think because I was in a low mood, I took an inordinate amount of time to actually make my selection. But I don't think I was really tuning in to what I was kind of like, I was reading it, but it wasn't really sinking in. I wasn't getting my wisdom around it at all. And then I finally made this selection, and it was it called?
Sashimi.
Sashimi. Anyway, I just like got little snippets of information from this thing. Maybe because my glasses, I didn't have the right strength glasses on. But in my mind, what I saw, first of all, this is like the restaurant's choice. This is the choice dish. And then I saw that it was like pan-seared tuna and garlic chips. So I'm thinking, in my mind, that means probably maybe sort of lightly fried tuna. And because of my English origins, at that particular moment in time, I was thinking chips. I was thinking fries. So I was thinking, great, pan-fried tuna and garlic fries.
You were thinking you were getting fish and chips.
Yeah, that's not going to be like sushi at all. There is an option. This is kind of cool. I'll have fish and chips in my mind.
But when you ordered it, I remember saying to you, Angus, that doesn't come with rice. Do you know that?
I know, but the weird thing about that is, like, how is that a discriminator? Why on earth would that lead me to believe that I'm getting the wrong thing just because there's no rice? It's just like, why is rice important? I can understand if I'm not getting beluga caviar or some sort of choice cut of salmon, but the fact that there's no rice isn't going to take me anywhere.
Well, I thought you were ordering sushi. I didn't know that you knew. I just knew that you were ordering what you wanted.
No, I didn't want sushi. Okay. I wanted fish and chips. And I was quite happy about the fact that there was an option other than sushi.
Yes.
So anyway, my plate arrives, and it's like something the cat dragged in. Worse still, the garlic fries turned out to be what I can only be best described as sort of slices of pickled garlic, and that wouldn't have been so bad. It was just like there was a mountain of it. You could barely see the fish below it, which is actually probably a good thing because the fish looked horrendous. It was like it looked like sushi that had been left out for 3 days. It had a sort of nasty crust to it. I didn't understand.
It was seared.
I know, but if it was seared, you'd expect it to at least be somewhat hot. But it was cold. I don't know. It just was not what I wanted at all. But what was so funny about it? Well, what became so funny about it, and actually what lifted the mood in the end and made me laugh ultimately, was that your reaction to it was one of just abject hysteria. I thought it was the funniest thing you'd ever seen. And it was probably the look on my face when I looked at what the waiter brought me, which is just like a horror story, and then I looked at what the waiter brought you three, which just looked like something that was fit for a god in comparison. It just made you laugh.
It did.
Which just lifted the mood of the whole table.
Your food was a representation of your inner state of mind.
It was totally a representation of my inner state of mind, and I actually thought about that later. I was just like, look at how, I was in such a low mood, and I couldn't make a wise decision.
Well, it sounds like you were just listening to all of the noise in your head, and you weren't really paying attention to your instinct about what to order, or your common sense about what to order.
Yeah, I had so much.
Flustered.
I got so flustered. Well, I had so much static going on inside my head.
Yeah.
That I couldn't make an informed decision.
Well, the good news is that even when we don't make a great decision, we have the resilience to bounce back and get over it.
We did, and actually, it was kind of the whole meal as a whole. The meal as a whole was a fun experience, based on the fact that I made such a bad decition.
You kind of broke the ice. We were all a little frayed at the edges.
We were definitely all a bit frayed at the edges, but then everything buoyed itself up again.
Once we had eaten our delicious rolls.
I know.
Well, all right, everybody. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.